Hey guys, what is going on? It is Ando, and first I want to say congrats. You guys made it to my new channel that is solely going to be focused on Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle Earth. So I know I haven't made a video on this game in a while just because there's not really been too much news that's been going on, as most of you guys probably know. And I've also just been busy kind of kickstarting up this channel. So before I get into the video, if you guys could subscribe, as this is a new channel, if you guys could like the video, comment on it, so that way it gets some notification out there to YouTube that says, hey, this is a pretty cool video. And hopefully we can kind of keep the ball rolling with this. As like I said, I obviously like this game enough to create a secondary YouTube channel and get it up and running. So appreciate any and all support there, guys. So we're going to talk about today. They released, our much needed information that on the raid. So we want that stuff, as well as some tips of how to prepare for this. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So it says, welcome to the Mines of Moria. And we're going to say, after months of waitings and speculation, of course, preparation, we're proud to announce that the Mines of Moria raid will be coming to Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle Earth, July 26, 2023. It is currently July 12th, which means we basically have 2 weeks from today in order to do our final preparation. And then as previously mentioned, they're going to be releasing it by a chapter by chapter format. Again, I like to always liken it to, other games, as I think I have a pretty big following from previous games. But in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, that would have been phases. So basically there's 4 chapters or phases for this. They're giving a small reminder that you need to be level 30 and be a part of a guild in order to participate. And the 4 chapters are, they are coming, which starts July 2023. So again, July 26th. Chapter 2 is going to be released. And it's called Doom, and it starts in August 2023. Chapter 3 is Blades in the Dark, which starts September 2023. And then Chapter 4, A Shadow and a Flame, which starts October 2023. So if you notice, basically all those are a month separated, and they give us a little disclaimer that dates are not final and are subject to change. So very interesting. Did not actually expect for them to come out this early. I was expecting more around August, September timeframe. So I'm glad that they're doing this. It seemed like they maybe pushed it up a little bit, but there's just really not much to do in the game. So I'm glad that they're kind of helping us out here. So this is the big thing, guys. Like, this is huge. I did not expect this to come. So for the Mines of Moria raid and its chapters, there are no restrictions on what characters or teams you choose to use. I would not expect this for future raids, guys. I think this makes sense, though, in the current scope of the game. There's just not enough characters right now to have like a huge depth to say like, hey, you guys can only use Fellowship and Hobbits and, maybe another faction. So in that sense, I think this makes sense. Also, the other thing is, typically what we've seen is to earn like character shards, you need to be at 7 stars or something like that. And right now, with just the crazy amount of gold and XP and all that good stuff crunch that's going on, I think it would make it really hard for players who are level 30 to even participate. So I like this move from them. And then when it comes to rewards, we can look forward to this awesome character, which is Gandalf the Grey. I think they did a really good job with his artwork. And basically, he's immensely powerful and loyal Istari, which is the wizards, responsible for bringing the Fellowship together and leading the charge against Sauron. And his character kit is coming shortly. I will do a video on that whenever it comes here, because at least again with Galaxy of Heroes, there's been 3 raid characters released, and 7 years into the game, we are still using those same raid characters. They are very good, so I expect the kit for this to be very good and for it to last a long time. So here's the rewards, right? And it does look like there are boxes, right? So this would be your final tier. But it looks like, you get some gold, which is, hopefully it's a significant amount. Hopefully it's not just like little droplets in a bucket. We'll have the gold shop currency. There's a gold raid currency. This is the mithril raid currency. We've obviously got the light and the shadow crystals. We've got our character shards. We've got the ability level 2 mats, and then the ability level 3 mats are XP. Again, these two things are huge crunches right now in the game. And then these are the light and dark, or light and shadow crystals that are like the upgrade from these that you kind of push on to the higher gear for right now. So obviously there's a guild reward track and a personal reward track. And I know I didn't do a video on this, but they kind of posted about like some of the stuff. It looks again like a carbon copy of what they did in Galaxy of Heroes to change their raids. Very positive change in my opinion. So I'm expecting this to be a pretty good system, or it was like to start off, right? So obviously both reward tracks are, it says may contain the following items: gold currency, character XP. Again, those are huge crunches in the game right now. And then the gold raid coins and the myth raid coins are going to be what's used in the shop. So another shop is coming to the game. And then obviously what's going to be so important is the Gandalf the Grey character shards. And then it says also that you're going to have the ability in the personal track to gain gems, which is pretty huge. The only way to gain gems in this game right now is through, I guess, personal achievements as you're kind of working your way through the game, and then squad arena and purchasing them. So the fact that there's going to be another, I guess, form of inflow or economy for gems sounds pretty promising to me. And then it tells you that the guild reward tracks are going to give you, the ability mats and then the crystals as well. So then the final important note is that these chapters, as they release, they're going to kind of increase the amount of Gandalf the Grey character shards. So don't expect basically the whole last two paragraphs really is going to be saying that, this raid is a marathon. You're not going to conquer it like tomorrow kind of thing. As we go through these chapters, I'm assuming, chapter 1 might have, 5 or 10 character shards, right? So you're not going to just sit on chapter 1 and just unlock it very fast. You're going to want to push to the next character or the next chapter, right? Maybe chapter 2 will unlock 20 shards. Chapter 3, 30 shards. Chapter 4, 40 shards or something like that. So there's going to be incentive on why you want to push your guild to continue to maximize the chapters that they're in. So that sounds like a good point to kind of translate from what they've told us to maybe some tips on how to prepare for this. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to be in an active guild, and you're going to want to be in a guild that's full. There are things called raid keys, which are like tickets. Essentially, you're going to need a certain amount of them before you can open up a chapter or open up a raid, I guess. And then, so that's a big thing, guys. I know if you're like my guild, due to the inactivity and, people getting bored of the game and just naturally people, deciding that they're not going to, they don't have time for a second game, all these things. We are not full anymore in my guild, up to I think 36 or 37 that is allowed. So I know we're going to try and find out how we can get more players, because you're going to want those raid tickets. Okay. And then the second tip that we're going to talk about is, this is right here, no restrictions is going to be, it's both a blessing and a curse, right? We don't know who's going to be best right now in slot for certain chapters. And so I guess my preparation for this, or my tip for this, would be save a little bit of stuff, right? I'm not saying to sit on 500,000 gold or anything like that, but if you guys can save some gold, if you guys can save some ability mats, and have some characters, maybe unlocked but not, starred up or something like that, that's going to help you whenever it comes to this raid, right? There's going to be, within the first few days, we're going to figure out who works best in chapter 1, right? And if that's just a small, flex, your ability to flex your roster a little bit, for this raid, if you have 10 or 15 people in your guild that are able to do that and then flex their roster and be able to kind of upgrade a character kind of in a panic sense and be like, okay, like we got it. It's only going to help you guys in the long run, right? So, and really at the end of the day too, right now that we've released this raid and it sounds like the rewards are going to be really good. It sounds like if we kind of operate on the assumption that these are going to release in 1 month increments, it should give us enough time to hoard for these raid these little kind of sprints, so to speak, where a couple weeks you hoard before the release of the next chapter, so that way when we kind of figure out who works best here, who doesn't work best here, do we need to unlock a certain character, that way that we're able to be, again, flexibility in this game, in this raid, I think are going to be keys, because you're going to want to be able to move on to the next chapter for the reasons we've kind of already spoken of, which is that you're going to want to get to chapter 3 and chapter 4 as soon as possible, so that way you can unlock Gandalf, because he's going to be really good. Again, just going off of their previous games, where their raid characters are phenomenal characters. And then I guess the last one is really, like I said, being a part of an active guild. You're not going to want to see people have zeros across the board whenever the raid comes out. You worked so hard to get the raid tickets. You worked so hard to kind of get, all the ducks in a row kind of thing. You did your attacks, and then it just always kind of disheartening whenever you see, 2, 3, 4, 5 people just kind of log zeros on, and maybe that wasn't enough to push you into the next chapter. So being a part of an active guild is going to be big. Like I said, these raids have a tendency of like shaking out guilds, finding who's active, who's not active, where you're going to go from there. Anyways, guys, those are sort of my tips right now that I can think of off the top of my head. Curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are as well. So leave the comment down below. Let me know what your guys' plan is, and if you guys' guild struggles as much as mine of keeping people. And like I said, we'll continue to push out new content on this channel, so I'm happy to have you guys be along the journey. And I guess that covers it, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.